Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into the unified Sigma platform today, and honestly, their mission is nothing short of massive. Literally engineering financial exclusion out of existence. We're going to unpack the architecture, the tokenized tech, and the physical hardware that's bridging modern global finance to some of the world's most remote, totally off-grid communities. Just take a second and really think about the profound vision driving this. Imagine being born anywhere in the world and immediately having access to financial opportunity. For a lot of us, opening a digital wallet or getting a credit line is just an everyday thing, right? But for a billion people out there, that basic access is entirely blocked by rigid borders, a lack of infrastructure, or just straight-up predatory fees. The goal here is a world where geography no longer dictates your human agency.
All right, let's get into part one, banking the next billion.
This inclusion journey isn't just about giving someone a place to park their cash. It's an actual engine for generational wealth. It kicks off by solving the hardest bottleneck first, which is identity. Establishing a verifiable digital presence is what actually unlocks the wallet. Then, that digital wallet connects to physical cash via ATMs, which naturally builds a habit of savings. And those savings generate the data needed to access credit, which is the absolute ultimate catalyst for creating true wealth.
Which brings us to Section 2, the economic multiplier effect. Here's the thing. When a whole community gets financially connected, their local economy doesn't just grow, it compounds. In unbanked frontiers, capital literally just stagnates under mattresses or bleeds out through massive remittance fees taken by middlemen. But if you introduce frictionless liquidity, suddenly every single dollar earned, sent, or saved gets trapped in this incredibly positive local feedback loop. Retained capital births local entrepreneurs and builds deep, lasting community resilience. Of course, to actually reach these off-grid communities, all this brilliant software needs a physical handshake. Enter Frontier self-service infrastructure. Drawing inspiration from the advanced, customizable kiosks built by giants like NCR Atleos and Genmega, these terminals act as the physical anchor in bustling morning markets. Just picture a rugged, solar-powered kiosk right in the middle of a remote agricultural hub, allowing a local farmer to withdraw cash or pay for irrigation, completely bypassing the need to trek all the way to a distant city. Let's crack open Section 3, inside the unified pipeline.
If you track a transaction through this pipeline, the efficiency is just staggering. Imagine a worker in Los Angeles tapping an app to initiate a zero-fee transfer. Instantly, those funds route over tokenized liquidity rails, totally bypassing sluggish correspondent banks. That data is beamed via a direct satellite link straight to that off-grid kiosk we talked about. The recipient just walks up, uses a chargeless biometric token, so no plastic card required at all, and withdraws their cash. And the smartest part? Any fractional surplus is autonomously invested into a micro-savings pool by Sigma BankAI.
When you put them side by side, it's obvious we aren't just looking at some incremental software update here. This is a complete paradigm shift. Legacy banking relies heavily on extractive tools, rigid physical borders, and plastic cards that are easily compromised. This Sigma architecture completely shatters that model. It's satellite connected to bypass fragile local telecom grids, it's governed by AI for automated security and savings, and it's hardware optimized to thrive in the absolute harshest frontier environments. Moving right along to Section 4, the roadmap to 100,000 nodes.
Obviously, a global grid like this doesn't just pop up overnight. Phase 1 is all about establishing the beachhead, deploying those edge kiosks and satellite links out in remote anchor markets. Once those physical anchors are set, Phase 2 kicks in, weaving them all together into a merchant liquidity mesh. This opens up cross-border corridors so capital can flow freely. And finally, Phase 3 brings the universal adoption of the I'm in sovereign AI, where every single user gets a hyper-personalized AI-governed financial identity.
100,000. That is the magic number. It's the critical mass of physical and digital nodes needed to really ignite a global network effect. It's essentially Metcalfe's law in action. Every single node, every kiosk, every wallet, every newly online community exponentially increases the liquidity, resilience, and utility for everyone else on the grid. We are talking about the creation of a global financial nervous system.
Which leads us to our final section, beyond banking into true human advancement.
Ultimately, the end goal isn't just about moving money around. It's about what that money actually unlocks on the ground. We are talking about reliable funding for local health clinics. We're talking about parents making direct, digital tuition payments so their kids can stay in school without cash getting lost in transit. It empowers grassroots commerce and pools resources for community insurance. That means a single bad crop doesn't financially wipe out an entire farming town anymore.
And that brings us to the core ethos of the whole platform. Zero cards, zero fees, infinite access. Because here is the absolutely crucial takeaway for today. Financial inclusion is not charity. Charity is a temporary fix. True financial inclusion is the absolute bedrock of human agency. By completely removing the plastic, the borders, and the friction, you provide the opportunity for people to build their own futures, strictly on their own terms.
So as we wrap up and look at this profound global transformation waiting right over the horizon, I want to leave you with this thought. If we really are on the verge of engineering financial exclusion out of existence entirely, what will the next billion people build with their newfound financial sovereignty? The potential for global innovation is just staggering. So the only question left is, are you ready to say, I'm in? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.